What's up, YouTube? Tim from SSG, and I'm here with
Danny Okos.
What'd you just do?
I came in 20th at the Peabody Regional with Phantasm Spirals.
Ooh, sweet. Let's get in the deck profile.
Okay, so, monsters. I have 1, 2, 3 Megalo Smashers. That's my only monster. In the main, 2K Beater, Dinosaur. Pretty good. That's, yeah, vanilla. Not much more to say. Triple Demise. I run Demise over Extravagance. I think it's more impactful, and also I'm playing a meme deck. I don't want to buy Extravagance, frankly. Obvious. Terraforming, we need to get to Pacifis. 3 Dualities, gotta get to Pacifis. Upstart, Straw Power. 2 Fossil Digs, it's forgetting to Smasher. We're all, the deck's consistency, Field Spell, Floodgates, and Interruptions. Alright, so Field Spell. Pacifis, if you don't know what this does, if your opponent activates a card effect or a card while you control Pacifis and no token, on a new chain you summon a 2K level 8 Worm Water token. And then on an entirely new chain, if you summon a normal monster, once per turn you can search your deck for a Phantasm Spiral spell or trap. And we'll probably talk about those a little bit more later. Today I opted to play 2 Cosmic Cyclones. My reasoning was, I think Striker's less of a good matchup now. Before it was a little more free because they would go into a lot of, or grab a lot of Widow Anchors, or open a lot of Widow Anchors. But now that they have more options against me, I just wanted to try to stop them from making consistent plays and recycling with multi-roll. And then 3 Demise of the Land. It's not the best card ever, but Metaverse got hit, so I need more ways to get to Field Spell, basically. If you guys don't know what this card does, it's if your opponent special summons a monster, you can activate a Field Spell from your deck. For traps, 1 Metaverse, it would be 3 if I could, it would be 10 if I could, frankly. 3 Phantasm Spiral Battle, it's destroy a card on the field, and I can activate it from my hand if I control a normal monster, and Yumi, which Pacifist is treated as. Phantasm Spiral Power is a hand trap similar to Battle, but it reduces the monster's attack and defense by 1,000 each, and negates their effects until the end of the turn. We have Macrocosmos and Skill Drain. Kind of obvious. I don't really run monsters that could go to the graveyard. I don't really run monsters with effects. 2 there can be only 1s. My monsters are Worm and Dino, and it really never interferes. Like, it's pretty infrequent you see 2 Smashers. Sea Stealth Attack, arguably best card in the game, in my opinion. It lets you reactivate Yumi from the grave. If your level 7 or higher water monster battles, Sea Stealth will destroy it. And then the most important effect is, once per turn you can banish a water monster you control to protect all your face-up spells and traps this turn. 3 Judgments, they're pretty important. Evenly really destroys this deck. Red Reboot really destroys this deck, so being able to have as many options against that is really important. 1 Solemn Warning, I lose to a lot of silly monster effects, and making sure that they never see the board can be really big for me. And then finally, 2 Fists of the Unrivaled Tenyi, and this is twofold. So obviously the negation effect is good, but in a minute here I want to talk about Sea Stealth and kind of how it works. And basically, let's talk about that now. Let's be very clear about that. So the best play in the deck is if you have Pacifist out and you have a Sea Stealth attack. Then one of the main things you want to do is during your opponent's turn, you chain Sea Stealth to one of their card effects or card activations, banishing your token. And at resolution, because this is a spell speed 1 trigger like effect, you're going to get another token and a search. And it's one of the most useful ways to aggressively search through your deck, because you really want to be searching for a card every turn. You want to be utilizing the fact that you basically have infinite tokens, and then furthermore you can guarantee that Pacifist stays face up, which is really important. In addition, because it makes sure that your face ups can't be destroyed, that's where Fists comes in, because most typically you'll have this set, and I've had several people, Twin Twisters, Heavy Storm Duster, my back row, having no other option, destroy this, and it lets you special summon any non-effect monster from your extra deck. And basically being able to tunnel people into doing that when they know that they can't destroy these is clutch all the time. Okay, extra deck. 2 Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragons. For fists, of course. He's definitely not the most important target, but he comes up, and he's big. And because the deck is mostly about creating a simplified game state and sticking your monsters, being able to stick a monster this big late game can be super big, literally. Gaia Saber, he's another non-effect monster for fists, and he has the down pointing arrow, and that really comes up like late game. If we're 30 seconds from time, then I'll go into Gaia Saber because I know maybe I can make Gaga Cowboy. It comes up. Basically, he's in there because he comes up. Nightmare Phoenix, I feel like he's an auto include. Like, I really have to include him. Dark Rebellion, Xyz Dragon. These choices are probably going to seem more weird, but it's ways to get damage in, and so those are ways to get damage in. Obviously, Megalo Smasher, Dinosaurs, Dweller, obvious. Castel needs to be here. Excitin, Baguska, Lagia, kind of all things that you would expect from a deck that doesn't really do any extra deck stuff other than rank 4s. Honor Art comes up, obviously Cowboy, and then the final non-effect monster is my Gagagigo the Risen, and the reasoning for him is you can banish him for Sea Stealth attack, which comes up. It's important to be able to do that because you can't activate the Phantasm Spiral spells or traps if you have a non-normal monster. And this isn't a normal monster, it's a non-effect monster. Okay, side deck. I'm citing 2 Lilith, Lady of Lament. My reasoning for that is some of the side deck cards that I can grab. It's an option to try to get a Metaverse early if I can't get a field spell. And I'll go a little bit more into that when we see some of the other cards. 3 System Downs. It came up today, I activated it. I'm afraid of Orcus, that's not one of my best matchups. And it's just like being able to system down them coming from behind in a deck where you want to simplify the game state, that's really big. Cosmic Cyclone, that's just the 3rd copy, I wanted to see it. So 3 Mind Crush. There's a lot of times that Mind Crush can be good. I know that it's not as good as it used to be, but one of the biggest things is I can't run Lancia because of the demises. I could, but I don't think it would be ideal. The reason that I run Mind Crush is I can Lilith into Mind Crush, and if my opponent says, draw, standby, main, battle, then in battle I can Mind Crush and say evenly. In worst case scenario, I discard a card, but evenly absolutely ruins my deck. Like I will lose most of the time. If I have, there's some combos I can do to get around evenly, but most typically if I can do this, I'd prefer to do that. White Howling, also a card that I search with Lilith. Obviously super good against strikers. It came up a couple other times today, but most typically that's an anti-striker card. All my monsters are water for the most part, so it comes up all the time. Soul Drain, I felt like there were probably a lot of anti-meta matchups it would be good in. Good against Thunder Dragons if you go first. 3rd, There Can Be Only One, came up probably at least 3 of my matchups today. And then the 3rd, Fists. I like to side Fists in with There Can Be Only One. It's another opportunity if my opponent has a way to prevent it from going off. With a monster effect, card effect, I can protect it. And just another negate, especially going into time when I want to side out Solemn Judgment, it comes up.
You know what your matchups were like?
I wrote them down. I'm a professional. My matchups were, so round 1 I played against Infernoids. Her name was Allison. I opened Sea Stealth both games. Unfortunately, she really couldn't do much. Round 2 I played against Orcust. Same deal, I opened Sea Stealth. If you open Sea Stealth, you're probably gonna win. It's really hard for people to get around it. My round 3, my opponent no-showed. Unfortunately, we had a lunch break today, and he showed up at maybe 10 minutes and 10 seconds. Round 4, I played against Dinosaurs, objectively my worst matchup. And game 1, he opened triple Ash against my Demise, Pacifis, and Duality. And game 2, he opened triple Twin Twisters. So losing like that to my worst matchup, Lost World makes the token. I can't make my token. They main deck Dogaran. I need my token. They tribute it. I can't use my traps. So unfortunately, it's a bad matchup, but I lost to my bad matchup. You know what I mean? I can't complain about that. Round 5, I played against Unchained True Dracos, and it was very close. Luckily, I opened Demise, and he had Unchained monsters, and it worked out. Round 6, I played against ABC, and I opened There Can Be Only Ones. That's really as simple as it got. I had Sea Stealth too, so that came up. Round 7, I played against Mech Knight Invoked. That was my second loss. That's also a really poor matchup for me. Like I said, this deck, you really want to simplify the game state and then have monsters that they can't remove. And there's really no opportunity to do that against Mech Knight Invoked. They take a lot of your resources, and then it really doesn't matter to them. Like, they kind of just get through. And then my last matchup was against Striker. So I went X and 2. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Did you want me to explain any of?
I don't know if anything you feel necessary for people to understand.
I don't know if there's. It's really as simple as that. Is you want to get Pacifis, and if you don't, you can win, but it's not looking good for you. There are absolute plays. Here's the one play I think I should show off, and it comes up. There's just things you have to be thoughtful about. Like if you have Metaverse Sea Stealth and whatever else, and they feel the need to evenly match you, you keep Sea Stealth set, and you chain the Metaverse, add Pacifist to hand, and then you Sea Stealth the Pacifist out of your hand. It's just something that comes up that if you don't do it the right way, obviously it's not going to work out for you. But it comes up. You get even lead. So I've been double even lead in this deck and still won, but that card fucks me every time. Okay. Other than that, there's nothing really big. There's a lot about, like, do you take the token turn 1 if you get ashed? Sometimes you do because you have the traps already, or you have Fists of the Unrivaled Tenyi, and being able to have that live for your opponent's first turn is really important. Other than that, this deck is frankly bad Demise Strikers. I shouldn't say bad, it's inconsistent Demise Sky Strikers in a lot of ways. And that's probably what I'm going to play from here on out. Other than that, let's shout out my partner here, my fiance, and we're going to shout out the Okos fam, Team Okos Gaming. Can I shout myself out? Check us out on Twitch, twitch.tv/DannyOkos. We play Yu-Gi-Oh! Like every 3 months. And shout out Silverstorm Gaming. Thank you for having me. We go way back. This is my first invite since 2013, so that's pretty cool. Thanks for having me.
All right. Thank you. Tim signing up.